It's my feel-good breakfast show.
This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Thank you so much for joining us on this live show on a Tuesday morning. We're talking about substance abuse. Now, I'm going to give you this number again, 083-9133-728. You're welcome to give us a call. We are live when you put that call through to us. Substance abuse is our country's biggest issue. It's a major issue. A reported number of 5 million South Africans are grappling with a type of addiction, primarily with drugs and alcohol. Graham mentioned it earlier, it's in all of our homes. We are all affected by it. Andrew Sullivan is in our studio this morning. He is a recovering addict and he's got a book called A Year Without Substance. We want to talk about this, also about the addiction, the book, how it's going to help all of us to not just understand it better, but also to get help. That number again, 083-9133-728. Andrew, welcome to the show again.
Thank you, Alana.
Earlier we talked about family life. I'm totally interested in the story. I have a brother who's an alcoholic, so I want to know more about this. That number again, and I'm going to stress this morning because it's something that touches my heart, 083-9133-728. When did you know you needed help?
I think one of the biggest issues that we face in addiction is denial. Denial is something that the very thought of, for me, 18 months ago, I've been clean, as we mentioned earlier, for 18 months. The biggest issue for me was the very thought of giving up beer for the rest of my life. It was, it was inconceivable. It was.
How many were you having a day? When do you know you're an addict?
My denial was helped by the fact that I had these stereotypical ideas of what a typical addict was. A drug addict was someone who was, say, for example, out of train spotting, or an alcoholic was someone who couldn't get out of bed before opening up a bottle of whiskey and drinking it. That wasn't me. And on that basis, I could focus on those differences and say, I'm not an addict. I suffer from depression as well. I was diagnosed with that. And it was very easy for me to blame that as opposed to the addiction problem that I suffered from. And I realized very, very quickly when I came into recovery that that I was an addict. And it came through, one of the biggest sort of foundations of the book, Ilana, is, and one of the things I learned very quickly in recovery is that there is no greater therapeutic value than one addict speaking to another.
Ah, you just said it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, walking into the doors of the treatment centre that I went into in Plettenberg Bay, I was introduced to a load of people who I'd never met before in my life. I felt like I was alone. I felt like I was unique. I thought I was going to be on the front cover of The New Scientist. I thought that my problems were totally unique to the rest of the world. And I drank them away. I used marijuana and occasionally cocaine to take away that feeling of loneliness that I had. But when I walked into that treatment centre, in Twin Rivers it's called, in Plettenberg Bay, I was introduced to connections that I'd never had before. I had a group of people from all various different backgrounds who were saying to me, we don't know who you are, we don't know where you've come from, but we know where you've been. And it was that emotional connection that I made to these people that just started me to think, I'm like these people. I can spot the similarities instead of the differences.
Well, you just said it this morning. We want people, in Afrikaans we say soort soek soort. We want people that have the same type of scenarios in their lives to speak with us, Mothers want to speak to other mothers. I want to know about the book, how it will help other recovering addicts, how it will help other addicts. People watching this morning that wants to call the show, that number again, 083-9133-728. If you have just joined in, addiction is something that affects all of us. In fact, 5 million South Africans. Well, we're gonna talk about all of us this morning. Andrew Sullivan is in our studio. Well, stay with us because we're going to be talking and taking your calls shortly. But we're heading to our kitchen, and it seems like we're keeping it fiery this morning. Graham and Chakalaka.